Hey guys, what's going on? It's Ben here. I'm back again today doing another video, and today we're going to be talking through some of the best NBA YouTubers to get into. So I'm just basically going to take you through some of my favorite channels and tell you why I like them, and maybe you can get some insight from them. So first is Funky Diabetic here. He is really solid as far as he's really timely with like current events and talking about what's going on lately, and he also is pretty interesting in some of his takes, and he has a really nice conversational style, which I appreciate, and he doesn't really like bother you with things like advertisements or like please subscribe and like a lot of YouTubers do like a 30-minute intro on like subscribe, ring the bell, hit notifications, all that crap. He doesn't do any of that, which I really like. He just basically starts the video as if he was already talking about it and you just walked into the room and heard him start talking about it. So he is pretty knowledgeable too. Like he's good on stuff like acquisitions and that, but he's also pretty knowledgeable just on basketball and like how basketball works. So he's definitely one to tune into if you like just like real conversational style. Another one is Kenny. Kenny's like an NBA superstar. He has a ton of like channels and videos, but I like his Kenny for Real channel the most. It's very much like the Funky Diabetic one. Very conversational. He just sits down and like has a conversation with the camera about current events and things that are going on in the NBA, which I really appreciate. He has another channel like King of the Fourth Quarter where he does like 2K rebuilds, and then he has another channel just called like Kenny where he does like just a bunch of random stuff that's not even really NBA related. But Kenny for Real to me is his best channel because he just is like sitting down and talking straight up basketball topics, which I like a lot. He has a podcast called Through the Wire. That's pretty good too. It's like this podcast. This is the latest episode of it. It's Kenny and four or three of his friends, and they just talk about a variety of NBA subjects. That's a good podcast to tune into as well. Rusty Buckets is another good one. If you haven't heard of him yet, he's a good one to be tuning into. He is, like it says here, I'm an NBA fanatic, a diehard Bulls fan. Think I'm funny. He is recently uploading videos on a daily basis, which is really nice to have like constant content, which is really good. So I'd tune into him. I like him a lot. And let's see here. Next is B Souls is really solid. He is making his videos a little bit less frequently. Love basketball, talk anything about basketball, then this is the place to be. He mostly does like current event kind of videos, or like just topics that he's interested in general. He makes them a little less frequently because he's in college right now, so he's been like trying to keep up with his courses along with doing this stuff. But he does really solid ones as well. He has really good thumbnails. I'd say he's like the best thumbnails of anybody. I just like how saturated it looks and all that. And I feel like he's pretty balanced in his opinions too. Let's see here. I like trying to think of the other ones. Low is a good one. Legend of Winning. He's pretty similar to Beasels, I'd say, where he does some current events, but then also sometimes he just does like subjects he's interested in. Again, good thumbnails, good production quality. I think he doesn't write scripts apparently, but they feel very rehearsed and like well done, and like he's really good at speaking. Besides him, one that I tune in, Sporting Logically does daily NBA videos, like 2 a day. As it says here, NBA videos every week. His though are not really about like gameplay. They're just about like transactions. Like you'll see here, the most recent one of his is the Jazz just overpaid for Rudy Gobert. He does them about like free agent signings and trades and like the salary cap, but it's not much about like actual gameplay. It's not like about how does this player play off of this player and stuff like that. It's much more just like the transactions. So just know that. And I'd also say like he's a good dude, but he's probably the worst of any of these people about like he spends like a full minute, it feels like, just talking about like, please like and subscribe and hit the notifications bell and check me out on these other channels and check me out on Discord and Twitch and all that stuff. So basically, if you watch his videos, you better just get ready to like fast forward through the first minute every single time, because you don't really miss anything. You just skip all of that stuff. Besides that, I like Colin Cowherd. Some people don't. I think his takes are out there and he knows they are, but he's also talking for like 4 hours a day, so he has to sometimes think up things that are a little bit outside the box to capture people's interest. Dom2K, I forgot to say Dom2K. You can tune into his regular channel, which is Dom2K. It's NBA YouTuber, basketball fanatic, all that stuff. He also has a second channel just called Dom, and he has his podcast is on his second channel, right here. This is Dom. It's honestly, he has two channels, but the content on both channels is usually like relatively similar. I'd say the biggest difference is the Dom channel, which is what he calls his second channel, is more like whatever he wants it to be. Like he posts his podcast on there once a week, and he posts like clips of him playing 2K on there, and just more like it's more miscellaneous stuff. Whereas the Dom2K channel is like his main channel, where he just posts like strictly NBA talk stuff. And he is my favorite out of all these people. He is very conversational with how he talks. He seems like you'd want to be friends with him afterwards when you're watching his videos. He just is really like down to earth, I would say, too, which is like a weird thing to say about somebody I don't know. But he doesn't like have an ego when he talks. He doesn't think he knows everything. He just kind of says what he thinks, but gives the proper caveats, and seems like one of the more sincere YouTubers out there who's doing it because he likes it, not for like views and wealth, because he said like he has other outlets to make money, and he basically just does YouTube because he's been doing it and because he likes it. But he like makes plenty of money from like streaming and things like that, so he doesn't really need YouTube. He just does it because he likes it. Besides that, let's see here. Some other podcasts that are good are The Old Man and the Three. That's a JJ Redick's podcast that he started doing on his own. It's really solid. So they have like him and his co-host have one guest on every week basically, and they just talk about what's going on with them. So I like The Old Man and the Three a lot. Knuckleheads is a podcast with Quentin Richardson and Darius Miles, who are former teammates, and they, same thing, have a former player on every single week and talk to them about what's going on with them. All the Smoke, very similar. They basically once a week have a guest on and just talk to them about what's going on with them. Paul George, that was a famous one that happened recently. Let's see here. Besides that, I do like Nick. I was gonna say I do kind of like. I like Nick Wright when he's not on his whatever his show is called, Undisputed. I think those people like him on that show, and Shannon and Skip on their show, and Stephen A and Max on their show, those shows are just not working anymore. I don't think. They're getting too old. They're getting too fake. But Nick Wright actually comes on other shows and guest stars, like the Bill Simmons podcast. He's come on, not Bill Simmons, but Bill Simmons owns The Ringer, and Nick Wright's gone on other podcasts on The Ringer, and he's really good. As far as The Ringer goes, anything with Ryan Russillo and Bill Simmons is really, really solid. Both of those dudes really know their stuff, so I would suggest their podcasts. Kevin O'Connor's, if you can find his too. Kevin O'Connor's podcast is really good. So there are people who I don't know as well on NBA YouTube. Like I actually first got into NBA YouTube from Mike Korzemba videos, but his are really clickbaity sometimes, and I just I'm not a huge fan of them. Besides that, you have smaller dudes like let's see here. Who are some of the smaller dudes that I still like quite a bit? You have Andy Hoops. He's decent. He does more like historical NBA stuff, not as it's not usually as current events. He basically just makes them about whatever he wants, and sometimes it's current events, sometimes it's super random. Like you'll see here, he did an Andrew Bogut video out of nowhere. He did like a thing about like Tyson Chandler out of nowhere, and something about Steve Nash and Sean Kemp. He's very random, kind of like my channel where he just makes videos about whatever he wants. Wilson Tsai is another one. His are okay.
Tragic news that my idol.
Let's see here. He makes some prediction videos, some best signings kind of videos. They're all over the place, but he's solid as well. He's pretty funny. And then let's see here. Crispy Flakes is another one. He's a big Detroit Pistons fan. He makes quite a few. His are, again, decent. He's pretty funny and not very scripted, so he's pretty random. But yeah, he's solid enough, so I like him too. So yeah, those are kind of my guides for what to check out as far as NBA YouTube. I'd say if I could suggest a few that would be like the musts or the definitely checkouts, those would be like Dom2K, Kenny For Real, Rusty Buckets, B Souls, and Low. I would say like those 5, I would say, are the 5 that I would enjoy the most. I think that was 5. Dom2K, Kenny For Real, B Souls, Rusty Buckets, and Low. Yeah, 5. That's all I got for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.